How long have I been at this? Like 5 weeks? So there hasn't been a whole lot that I've promised except to do what is right for the American people, put government back on the side of the American people.
The people in my neighborhood, they get it. They get it, and they know they've been getting the short end of the stick.
They were just feet away from each other, but worlds apart. There were no fireworks last night, no knockout punches from Sarah Palin and Joe Biden, but there were moments to remember. Her winks, his emotion. But who won, and will it matter, frankly, next month? Our political panel now ready to pitch in on this. CNN political contributor and Republican strategist Bae Buchanan, who is also, or was rather, a senior advisor for Mitt Romney's presidential campaign. CNN contributor Dana Millbank, national political columnist for the Washington Post. Oh, nice job. And CNN political analyst Roland, a supporter of Barack Obama. I've also got with me in studio Time Magazine editor-at-large and senior political analyst Mark Halperin joining us. So, Dana, let me start with you. Past few weeks, we have seen Sarah Palin stumbling through some pretty high-profile interviews. Last night, she took control. She set her own ground rules. Let's listen.
I may not answer the questions the way that either the moderator or you want to hear, but I'm going to talk straight to the American people and let them know my track record.
So that's pretty much what she did, which included, frankly, ignoring a lot of the questions.
Doggone it, you betcha. That's exactly what she did, Campbell, and quite effectively in many instances. You know, she would be asked about taxes, she'd talk about energy. She'd be asked about health care, she'd talk about energy. But I think what happened here is you've got sort of this bifurcation going on. Those of us who saw the Katie Couric interview, who saw Tina Fey do her send-up, saw the actual Sarah Palin come in and said, hey, wait a second, she speaks English without the help of a translator. She seems to be fine. The rest of the country that may not necessarily have been watching all of this said, well, maybe she's not quite up to the task, which is why the polls didn't look so great for her there that night.
Bae, very reassuring for a lot of conservatives, which I know even you would concede last week after the Katie Couric interview was sort of a rough patch for her. The fact that she seemed to hold her on meant a lot.
She was remarkable. She was incredible, a real star. I mean, you know, I watched that in Friends. We were calling back each other. We were thrilled to death because it was about a whole lot more. This is somebody from Middle America the media had written off. She showed up when toe-to-toe with somebody with 30 years experience. 30 years experience. She went toe-to-toe.
But as a supporter of hers,
hang
on, Bae, as a supporter of hers, though, given what happened last week, were you nervous going into the debate?
Oh, there's no question, Campbell. A lot of us were nervous, I'm telling you, because you just weren't certain. We saw her at the convention. We knew she was talented, but we don't know, maybe the last couple of weeks there was too much coaching and she wasn't going to be able to be her natural self, too cautious. She threw all that off. She had a good sense of who she was last night, completely confident, sent the message right through the camera that, listen, I am upbeat, I'm positive, I have a good grasp of this material, and at the same time, I can go toe-to-toe with this fella, 30 years experience, I can hold my own. He didn't lay a glove on her. She won that. She won it cleanly. It was a terrific night.
Oh, my God.
All right, quickly, Roland.
Bae, first you talk about remarkable. If that's remarkable, trust me, you guys' standards are totally low. This reminded me of when you were in the 6th grade and you had a 5-page paper to write and you had enough information for 1 page and you sort of filled the other 4 pages. That's what it was like. I mean, Bae, she wouldn't answer many questions. When Biden, after her on McCain's health plan, she couldn't respond to that. When he hit her back on taxes, she couldn't respond. Again, I mean, this whole notion that somehow this was great and remarkable, if that's the best you got, that's pretty weak.
Let me expand this. Let me broaden this conversation a little bit and bring Mark Halperin in as well. I want to play a little soundbite from Joe Biden. It was striking for me when I saw this moment, a very emotional moment for him. Let's watch.
The notion that somehow, because I'm a man, I don't know what it's like to raise 2 kids alone. I don't know what it's like to have a child you're not sure is going to make it. I understand, as well as, with all due respect, the governor or anybody else, what it's like for those people sitting around that kitchen table.
It was Joe Biden talking about caring for his critically injured sons after his wife and daughter were killed in a car accident. You know, that beyond that, Mark, even, you know, what he was doing, what she was doing, both of them, it seemed, connecting very much with working class voters. I mean, that was their mission when they walked out on that stage, and every answer seemed to be geared toward that, right?
Well, and I'd be willing to say that both of them do it better than the people at the top of their tickets. I think both of them are better at talking to working class voters, and both of them, by their life experience, have a real connection that's legitimate and authentic. Joe Biden, that was the one moment, I think, where he kind of let himself be lost in emotion. I think he probably would have been better off doing more of it, but it would have conflicted with the mission that he clearly had. He and his advisors clearly felt a different strategy, almost ignoring Sarah Palin, talking to the American people, talking to the audience in the room and the moderator. And I think that kept him pretty straight, pretty away from being emotional. It may have hurt him overall, but it did keep him from making a mistake, which would have hurt him more.
And Campbell,
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened. Biden did have a role. He was going to go after John McCain, and we heard it time and time and time and time and time again. He had one play. Sarah was out there. She was the interesting person. She was dynamic. She talked about herself. She talked about Biden.
He won.
No, he did
All
not.
right.
She cleaned his clock.
Okay, guys, I got 10 seconds left. Dana, I mean, where does it go from here? Was it ultimately a wash, or does she have any potential here to be helpful to McCain, given where he is in the polls at the moment?
They both had good nights. It's modestly probably a boost for her, but it's not the sort of thing that's going to change the whole game here that's weighing very heavily against John McCain right now.
All right, panel, stick around. We got more to talk about. Still ahead, though. Wolves.